Deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel, deliver Daniel. Didn't my Lord deliver Daniel, and why not every man?
The line from the song echoed in Harriet's mind as Jim split logs for the fire. I'm going to make a run for it. Doing that corner thing tonight. Are you sure, Jim? You've been caught twice. And if you fail again, the master is bound to sell you some. Well, I'm going to find me the Underground Railroad they all talk about. Tonight, when that shucking party's underway, I'll be off. That night, there was a huge shucking party. When the shucking pile was about half done, Harriet watched Jim sprint across the corn-stubbled fields. The overseer jerked his head towards the field. A white shirt was still visible. He leapt up and raced after Jim. Without thinking, Harriet sprinted after him. When they reached the small store at the crossroads, Jim inside, the overseer saw him, raced in, and blocked the door. "I've got you! Quick, hold Jim down, and I'll whip him within an inch of his life. Right here." "Yes, master." "Good girl. Bring him here." "Go right. I'll stop him." Jim ran out the door. The overseer raced to follow Jim, but Harriet beat him to the door and stood in front of it. The overseer drew back his hand and hurled a 2-pound weight from the store scales. Harriet felt the thud on the left side of her head. Her skull cracked, and everything went black in silence. It was days before Harriet regained consciousness, and months before she could walk. The strike on her temple resulted in ongoing narcolepsy, where she would fall asleep in broad daylight, often for hours at a time. But this disability didn't stop Harriet from risking it all to save others. Harriet Tubman by Janet and Jeff Bange. Harriet found her little brother Henry gathered around the door of her parents' cabin. Oh, Harriet, the mess is dead, and Sally heard we're going to be sold south. Oh, Henry, you think she's telling the truth? Well, sure she is. She wouldn't make something like that up. Well, we've got to go north. Who knows, we'd be better off up north than I've never met anyone who was made up then. Have you? This ain't never gonna work. We've got to go north. It's now or never. I've been thinking about this for a long time. I know White Lady in Bucktown. She can put us on the Underground Railroad. What have we got to lose? I'm sorry I'm gonna leave you. Farewell, oh farewell. But I'll meet you in the morning. Farewell, oh farewell. Harriet knew she had to leave, and in almost no time she found herself looking at the cottage, contemplating knocking on the door and asking for help. Oh, come in quickly. Is he in need of help? I'm Harriet Tubman, and you told me to come to you anytime, day or night. I remember thee quite well. What can I do for thee? I need to board the Underground Railroad. See, I've been sold south, and my new owners to pick me up in the morning. Well, it's over 90 miles to get to the north. We must cross the Mason-Dixon line, and the Underground Railroad isn't a railroad road. It's a series of places that sells fine food and shelter along the way. I could direct thee to the next stop. Oh, yes. It's a long walk, close to 13 miles through swamp and forest. You must hide during the day and journey at night. Just before thee gets to town, look for a white house, green shutters, and a red brick chimney. Harriet had walked for several hours when she fell into one of her deep sleeps and slumped against a tree. She woke to the sound of approaching hoofs. She can't have gone farther than this! I can't believe that she would have come this far. Maybe we should double back and see if we can spot her further down the road. Harriet let out a deep breath and started along the road again. Good morning. Good morning to thee. I'm Ezekiel Hunt. Please come inside. I'll take thee in a wagon to the edge of the mountain. Then follow this road quickly till you get to Middletown. Go to the graveyard upon the hill until the man comes. Just as Hunt had said, there was a cemetery on the hill. Harriet crawled among the headstones. Minutes passed, and she began to wonder if the man was ever going to come. Lost in her own gloomy thoughts, Harriet was oblivious to the footsteps approaching her from behind. I
bring the ticket for the railroad.
Oh, thank you. You're here.
Here, put these on. Harriet accompanied the man across the bridge. To anyone who passed them, they looked like a slave accompanying his master for a day's work. Walk for an hour, and you will come to a highway. You'll see the sign that marks the line between Delaware and Pennsylvania. Walk past the sign, and you will be free. I've written Pennsylvania on this piece of paper. Compare it to the sign to be sure it's the right sign.
Thank you, sir. And may God bless you for all your help to me.
Harriet breathed deep when she reached the signpost. She pulled out the piece of paper and compared it to the sign. The letters matched. She stretched out her arms as wide as she could before she crossed the Mason-Dixon line.
Harriet awoke with her heart pounding and her body shaking violently. She had just had a dream, a terrible dream, that her father was stripped to the waist and being whipped by a group of leering white men, while her mother stood beside him, screaming for Harriet to help them.
Harriet knew she could not rest until she had rescued them both. Her only problem was any rescue attempt would take a lot of money, so she decided to appeal to the Anti-Slavery Society for the needed money.
I feel my parents are in danger, and I must rescue them. I've come to ask for $20 to do it.
$20? That is a lot of money, and I'm afraid we just don't have that much right now.
My parents are in danger, and I'm not going to leave here or eat or drink until I get the money I need.
Whatever you say. You know I'd give it to you if I had it.
I know you would. Don't you worry yourself. God will provide for me.
Harriet left the office and settled herself into a chair by the front desk. She wrapped a shawl around herself to settle in for the long wait, and within minutes she'd fallen into one of her deep sleeps. She woke around dinner time and saw something poking out of her shawl. It was a $10 bill. She unwrapped her shawl and dollar notes fell out all around her. She asked the secretary,
What is this?
"The strangest thing, Miss Harriet. Men and women have been coming in here all afternoon bringing money for you."
God, He's helped me, and He's never failed me. With that, Harriet immediately headed south to rescue her parents. Shh. When it was dark, Harriet finally reached the slave plantation. Quickly and quietly, she made her way to her parents' door. She knocked on the door.
"Who is it?"
It's Harriet.
Is it really you, Harriet?
She swung the door open wide. Harriet stared into the eyes of her mother for the first time in 8 years.
Oh, Harriet, I never thought I'd see you again.
The two women embraced, and Harriet's father left his perch by the fireplace and engulfed Harriet in a big hug. I've come to take y'all away.
Oh, and not a moment too soon. Oh, Monday, they're gonna try your patent for helping to run away and escape.
So that was it. I knew something was terribly wrong.
I didn't do things for you. But what does that matter? I'm an old slave. Ain't nobody gonna believe me.
Ain't nobody gonna try you here. We moving your trial to a higher court, the Court of Freedom in Canada.
It was obvious that Harriet's parents could not look even part of the way to freedom, so she began to search for a claim. She left the cabin and headed to the back fields where an old mare had been put out to pasture.
She captured the animal and led it back to the barn, where she pitched it to a rickety old wagon. She bundled her parents into the wagon, and they were off.
I'll meet you in the morning. I'm bound for the promised land.
On the other side of the Jordan, bound for the promised land. I'm sorry I'm gonna leave you. Farewell, oh farewell. But I'll meet you in the morning. Farewell, oh farewell. I'll meet you in the morning. Farewell, oh farewell.
It was a wonderful moment for Harriet. Her parents, free at last.
Harriet Tubman, also known as Moses, took over 19 trips south and escorted over 300 slaves north to freedom.
She rescued her brothers, sisters, and even her parents.
Harriet Tubman was one of the first women to serve in the U.S. Army and to lead expeditions against the South.
Harriet never let her disabilities get in the way of doing what God had told her to do. When God told her to go rescue her parents, she did, even when it meant facing danger.
She lived a hero. Thank you.